G'day guys, let's see what's going on in the world of AWOL women. This woman's apparently a coach. You'll never feel 100% certain. Know the difference between your intuition and your fear. Oh yeah, okay.
Intuition. Nobody has a class for that in high school. They should, but we don't have that knowledge or that learning or that modeling of how to trust our intuition. I started over at the age of 51. I left my marriage. I left my brand new apartment I just renovated. I left the country and I started over. And here's one
Okay, and now all you can do it too.
thing that I want you to know if that's something you're considering. If you're considering leaving your marriage, but you are stuck in fear and indecision, and you are waiting for the neon sign from the universe, or you're waiting for something big to happen, or you're waiting to feel certain, here's something that I want you to know that I experienced that is something that's keeping you stuck, and that is this. You are never going to feel 100% certain.
Okay guys, so you're never going to feel 100% certain. Now, my response to this is it depends on the circumstances in which your mind is telling you you should leave. Are they legitimate or not? This woman doesn't seem to care. She's just running on the fact that if you are at a point where you need to leave, then throw all caution to the wind and leave.
You want certainty. You want 100% certainty that leaving is the best decision.
Well, of course you do. Why would you walk out on your children and your marriage and your husband and all the rest of it if you're not 100% certain? This is the carelessness and callousness of these women that have got a trail of destruction behind them. They'll blame everybody else, right? And they're encouraging other people to do it as well. Like one woman says here, this video is a game changer, thank you. So she's obviously getting out. I'm not ready for the fight that has threatened, that the husband has threatened me with. I said I'm not happy, etc. His response was better get a good lawyer. I'm almost 50 and I'm stuck. These people, dead set, how dysfunctional, all these people are saying is they don't know how to resolve their issues. I divorced at age 52. I regret not leaving earlier. These people, honestly, I have been with my husband since I was 15. I'm now 49. I just told him last night, this isn't working for me. Then I came across this. And I need the separation to really know what I really want. Well, you know, this is how it spreads. I left a toxic 5-year relationship, went to college, and next month I'm graduating a certified healthcare assistant. What's that got to do with it? Fear is real. The world is a scary place right now, but we literally hate each other. I tried to explain the bear in the woods today. He said that 99% of men aren't rapists and that so on and so forth. Doesn't really go any further than that. Somebody says she's so amazing. Well, she's so amazing encouraging people to, on their intuition, leave their marriage.
Of good reasons. You don't want to create undue pain to your partner. You don't want to put your kids through the stress of a divorce. You don't want to walk away if you haven't done everything you can.
Okay, but what she's saying is put your children through the pain, put your partner through the undue stress. And what was that last thing she said? Oh, this is so careless, guys. This is actually demonic.
You want to be able to sleep at night after you leave. You want to feel in your conscience that you've done everything you can to make this work.
Well, the fact of the matter is that's what you need to do if you want to have a clear conscience. Besides the hurt and the pain that'll come with the loss of a marriage, for no legitimate reason except the way you feel. See, people get married because of the way they feel, not because of the words they're saying or their level and capabilities of commitment. And then when their feelings change, so does their position in the marriage. And therefore, the person that they're married and the children, the innocent children that they're brought into the world, end up in no man's land. And these people are going around telling people that that's the way to go.
And all of that is great and necessary, but here's the problem. You're waiting to feel 100% certain that leaving is the right choice.
Well, did you wait till you were 100% certain that getting into the relationship was the right choice, or did you just guess? And let me just say, a lot of people just guess. There's an element of faith at the start, but after that you say to yourself, yeah, I'm gonna give this a shot. Now, if you get married, you've gone one step further. You've said till, death do us part. But I think people should say in their marriage vows now, until I get tired of this, I'll be married. Because once they start to narcissize the marriage vows, once their mind begins to narcissize against them, their own mind, they'll project that onto the husband, or the husband to the wife. In this case, this is a woman encouraging women to leave their husbands. Once the mind begins to narcissize through the sinful nature, which the Bible warns about, and we might look at a quick passage, guys and girls. Now, this is a pretty in-depth passage, but just a bit of a background. The Apostle Paul was writing to the Hebraic Christians, the Jewish Christians in the church at Rome. And he was warning them that if they approach God by thinking there's things they need to do or not do to make him happy outside the finished work of Christ, that was going to cause their sinful nature to deceive them. Now, this happens in relationships when we make up idealisms, and you'll see this in a lot of these females' videos where they say, I thought I had to become this and do that and not do this and do that. It causes them to go into sin. The principle of the Mosaic law, which none of us are under, and neither are the Jews anymore, once they get the realization that all that was completed in the finished work of the Lord Jesus Christ on the cross. When we think we need to approach God by the things we need to do or not do to make him happy or stop him from being sad, we become evil. And when we're in a relationship where we make up idealisms that are not real to the relationship, it can turn us sinful. A lot of people don't realize this. So with that context in mind, let me read to you what Paul says. He says, we know that the law is spiritual. Let me put it this way. We know that the relationship is spiritual. The marriage is spiritual. It's on a spiritual premise, isn't it? And physical outworking. And he says, but I'm carnal, sold under sin. So the first place we need to start, and if I ever did a course, this is how I'd start the alpha course, male course. We have to start knowing that the fact that the enemy is within. The first enemy we need to confront and identify and confront and be aware of is the enemy which is within, and that's our sinful, carnal nature. Because a lot of these people on these TikTok videos and all the rest of it, they're trying to sort problems out, but they're not dealing with the actual root problem, which is their sinful nature. And until you deal with that, or at least become aware of it at least, then you're not going to be able to move forward from that, because the sinful nature, no matter what your principles are, will be able to undermine what your good intentions are. And this is the beauty of Christianity at its full essence. It cuts off evil before it sabotages you. It cuts off your own evil before it gets to you. But you'll see these female counselors and these simp counselors, these weak-minded counselors, aren't warning people about the enemy within. They're trying to deal with the problems from an exterior perspective. And in some cases, that's fair and legit. But I'm coming back to the fact that you have to start with the enemy within, and that's your sinful nature. And if you are not aware of that, you're going to be tossed to and fro and backward and forward, and you'll be deceived by this sinful nature within yourself. Does that make you not responsible for the problem? No, because it's your responsibility to be aware of the Trojan horse, the sinful nature that has you've been conceived with, you've come into the world with. Horrible reality that there's an evil nature within you and it works against you. But Paul says, for what I am doing, I do not understand. And for what I do not practice, for I do not practice what I will to do. So he's saying, I don't understand what's going on. And let me put it to you this way. I don't understand what's going on. I want my marriage to work. But the harder that I try, the more elusive it becomes. And that's because your sinful nature is working against you from the inside. But I do the very thing I hate. For some people it might be, I don't want to have an affair. The next minute, the harder they try not to have an affair, the next minute they're in bed with somebody else. Because the sinful nature acts on the things we think we need to do or not do to make things work outside of the basic free living principles that protect us from igniting our sinful nature. But if I practice what I do not will to do, I agree with the law that it is good. Okay, so what he's saying is there is a universal set of morals and standards that we have been made aware of that we're unable to 24/7 keep. And this gives us the opportunity to take the revelation that we are dealing with a force and a power from within ourselves that works against our good. Verse 17. So, now it is no longer I that do it, but sin that dwells in me. So he's saying, I've become aware of what's going on here. There's a force within me, not on my exterior, within me, that's sabotaging the things I really want. People get married because they want to get married. And the next minute, for some strange reason, they're ruining their marriage and they really have no reason why. So they project the problem onto the partner, and the partner just gets chucked down the road as being somebody that was no good. Now, there are legitimate cases where the partner is no good. But I'm not talking about that. You'll see a lot of these women say, my husband was good, he did that, but I got bored. No, you got deceived by your sinful nature. For I know that in me, that is in my person, in my body, in the sinful nature, right? The sinful nature dwells no good thing. Right? You have to isolate this to the sinful nature because that's what he's talking about. He has come to the realization that there is a nature inside him that wills to destroy anything good around him. There's nothing good about it. It doesn't want good. It can't produce good. It only brings bad and makes us make bad decisions. For the will to do what is right is present with me, Paul says. But how to perform what is good I do not find. For the good I desire to do, I do not do. But the evil I do not want to do is what I do. And that's because the sinful nature has penetrated far enough into the mind to cause the person to make the wrong decision. And you'll see a lot of these women on TikTok and other social media crying about the fact that they've lost their marriage or they've left their marriage and now they regret it. Because at the time of their wrong decision making, the time that they contradicted their vows and all the rest of it, was when their sinful nature had caused them to do the evil that they didn't want to do. So now, if I do what I do not want, and this is the key passage, verse 20 of chapter 7 of Romans in the New Testament. If I do what I do not want to do, it is no longer I who does it, but sin that lives in me. And this is the great mystery. This is the great answer. A lot of people wouldn't need counseling if they did their homework and learnt who they are and what they're made up of. And part of what we're made up of is having a sinful nature that works against us. And a lot of people have lost wonderful, great marriages and all the rest of it because of this nature. Now we go back to this context.
And you are never going to get there. You're never going to feel 100% ready because your mind is always going to be telling you the doubts, the fears, the what ifs, the why you should stay, but look, he's being nice today, but all of these things are in your mind, okay? And your brain is trying to...
Now, all of these things are part of your values. Okay, this woman's a complete, absolute, overt female narc. All right, she's trying to teach people to undermine your values. Right, undermine what's really deeply important to you and give way to sin. And she's dressing that up as having a happier life on your own, getting pumped and dumped and by all different men that come along. Okay.
To keep you safe. Your mind's only job is to keep you safe. Your mind does not want you to be successful because success requires
Now, this is where she is completely illiterate. Right? This is where she disqualifies herself. Because she's saying it's the mind that doesn't want to keep you, that wants to keep you from being successful. But what she's saying is, what she should be saying is, it's your sinful nature that's undermining you. And the way out of that is to come back to Christ. Come back and get your senses. Come back to the cross and get away from your sin. She's not saying that. She's saying push on with your sinful nature. Push on.
To get out of your comfort zone, and that signals danger to your mind. So your mind is always going to want you to stay right where you are. And when you consider leaving, your mind is going to protest. It's going to scream at you. It's going to tell you all the reasons why that is a terrible idea.
Well, the reality of the fact is it might be a horrible, silly, stupid idea. So why encourage it? Why throw caution to the wind? Why throw all your years of effort and love and sacrifice and all the rest of it, when 9 times out of 10 the other person usually is trying, and I know that because a lot of these women get on here later and say, oh, I miss my husband, I regret losing my husband, I shouldn't have walked out of my marriage. These apparent coaches, I call them demons. They've got no idea of human psyche. They're projecting the way they've dealt with their lives, right? And they're dressing it up and making it all out to be wonderful and so much better, but it's not.
So even though logically perhaps you can reason yourself into understanding why you need to leave, if you're waiting for 100% certainty, you're not going to get it because your mind will never accept that leaving is the best choice because it feels too scary.
No. Your mind will never accept that leaving is the right choice until you've ticked everything off in your conscience and it's completely honest and legitimately fair to go from the marriage or the relationship. And unfortunately, people don't completely know how to, on the one hand, they stay when they should go, on the other hand, they go when they should stay. They don't know how to navigate these things under the battle. And if you've got demons and coaches like this and other people encouraging you just to blindly go, right, against your conscience or possible uncertainty, you may as well just jump off a cliff, close your eyes and hope you land in the water and not on the rocks at the bottom. It's just not wise. This is not wise counsel. Okay?
So here's where you need to trust your intuition. Your intuition is telling you the truth. And
she's blindly saying that your intuition is telling you the truth. Intuition is one way of having a sense that it may be the right direction to go in. But even your intuition has to be checked. Okay? Intuition is not automatically telling you the truth. All right? Say I'm out in surfing or something, right? My intuition is telling me that there's a shark nearby, right? Well, there possibly is a shark nearby. I've had moments where I've paddled in under the sense of intuition that something's not right that I can't see. All right? And I've come in and I've made myself safe. Now, you have to be real here, ladies and gentlemen that are listening to this. If you blindly, for the sake of some sinful urge or some demonic intuition that's pushing you towards exiting illegitimately out of a relationship that's not fair on the person that you're with because they really haven't done anything wrong to you, your mindset's just changed and you've narcissized your view of who that person is and therefore you're off and out. Just be honest. Say, look, I've narcissized how I feel about you. I don't feel the same anymore. It's really not your fault, and leave. This blind sense that intuition's always going to be right and you should trust it, no. Because intuition has the same ability to deceive you like all other things that aren't checked. Okay, and when it comes to love and relationship and the damage that can happen to us if we get it wrong and to the people around us, just blindly trusting intuition is not good enough. It still needs to be checked.
We haven't been taught how to trust our intuition. Nobody has a class for that in high school.
Oh, yes, there is, guys. There's plenty of ways in which you can check your intuition. That's just common sense. Right? She's trying to validate what she's saying by saying there's nobody out there to say we should trust our intuition. There's stacks of people out there to saying trust your intuition, and there's stacks of people out there saying no, don't trust your intuition, because intuition or not, the way we feel or not, wisdom is the principal thing. The Bible tells us that wisdom is the principal thing. And if we're having trouble in a relationship and we haven't got all the knowledge pertaining to why that is happening, in comparison to the husband that slept with somebody else or out and out betrayal, theft, lies, and physical abuse. If you're in that arena where you're just dealing with feelings and intuition and there's no legitimate reason why you should be in that place, you need to get knowledge. You need to get knowledge on who you are, what you're made up of, your sinful nature. Are you being deceived, momentarily deceived? Right? Because these things will pass by, and as you get wiser towards these things, their influence becomes weaker. But if you fall prey to your sinful nature, which we read about in Romans, how it deceives you and hurts you and destroys you and maims everything that's good in your life and causes you to make wrong decisions, then you're just going to end up. And she doesn't look sane to me, to be honest. I don't think her advice is sound. She's just running on her own confidence. I mean, if you put this woman in check, she's stuck. She's just out there running around teaching people to be single and have no responsibility relative to anything that's going to take some mental, devotional, and commitment muscle. These people are everywhere, teaching people that the single life is better, get out of da-da-da, whether it's legitimate or not. My advice is against that. You have to tick off the boxes.
They should, but we don't have that knowledge or that learning or that modeling of how to trust our intuition. And so
that's not true. All the new age teachers tell you to trust your intuition. The Bible has a lot more caution than that. Okay, she's making out that people are ignorant of intuition. Intuition's a powerful force, but I have to repeat, it can mislead you, and it will mislead you if you don't get your facts straight before you commit to it.
Try to rely on our brain to make this big decision for us, and that's not going to work.
Okay, so what she's saying is, and she's just backed herself up, you need to be brainless, right? And blindly distrust the way you feel. Well, if you're prepared to take that advice, you're a lot braver than what I am. And I hope this woman sees this video. As a matter of fact, I think it's completely, utterly, totally wrong and bad counsel. I think these people cause a lot of people to end up alone that shouldn't be. They end up with in situations where they leave a safe relationship for the wrong reasons and end up getting pumped and dumped and jizzed on by strangers, and then go through all the horrible pain and hurt of that, regretting what they have done, as the Bible taught. You have to be very careful of these teachers, guys. And I will see you in the next video. We might do a part 2 on this. Bye for now.